Okay.
Oh, this is
Um,
hilarious.
what am I looking at? Oh, right. All right. Hey, folks, welcome to the after show. T Storm, DJ Mike Swift, Unpopular Opinion Show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. What?
I'm sorry. Um, all right, guys. So peek behind the curtain, and in fact, you probably saw it in the last after show. We talk a little bit before we start the after show. A lot of that we don't use. I'm not going to use it this time, but before T just said welcome to the after show, I read him a text from my daughter. This is the text. Came out of nowhere. All caps. Dad, you need to buy a Pikachu onesie, put it on, and send a photo to me. Laugh out loud. I replied, well, that's random. She's her reply back. I was watching the most embarrassing dads that ruin their children's lives video. And there was one where some girl ordered a Pikachu onesie and it was too big for her. So her dad wore it and posted it online. And I thought that you should do it. This is what my children think of me.
Listen, I'll second that. You should absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. That would be awesome. And we have to post it front page on unpoppin.com. Like,
I am not going to say whether I will or will not do it. I'm not going to do that because if I do it, people will be shocked.
Dude, that's funny. All right. So, I want to introduce something, and I will introduce it on the after show that's appropriate. This is exclusive content that you can only get right here on poppin.com. I'm going to call this by any means necessary. Some memes that I've seen that are, particularly funny. Here's one. I don't know if you can see it. Now watch carefully. What the hell? And how the hell did that happen? How able to pull it off and actually get it on there? Oh my Lord! Yes, that's wonderful.
Oh God.
Yeah, I have another one. This one I believe it may have some audio to it. Hopefully you can hear it once I put it on here. I got so many things open on the. Nope, that's the wrong. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, so I need a new computer. All right, so nope, that's shit. That's not it either. All right, what? We go.
Sounds like the last date I went on.
All right, ready? Here you go.
I don't hear the audio.
Oh, damn it. Shit. That's not going to work then. You got to hear the audio. You absolutely have to hear the audio. Because it's the sound from okay, you know what? I'm going to play it in post. You'll hear this and you'll get a laugh out of it, but I'll share my headphone with you.
I can't hear it. Yeah. Okay, that is funny.
Yeah. Let's see if there's any more stupid shit. There's always stupid shit. I enjoy ignorance.
There's a lot of it out there.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it for now. By any means necessary.
This one isn't a meme, but it is some stupid shit. Kanye West got 60,000 motherfuckers to vote for him. Write him in.
That means there's 60,000 absolutely ignorant, stupid ass people. Kanye West was definitely one of them. The curious thing is people wondering if his wife actually voted for him or not.
Oh, I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but you know, you expect her to to
stand by her man.
Right.
They got his state by state breakdown. He only got written in I think in 12 states. He had his highest numbers in Tennessee, 10,216 people.
Not Tennessee. Okay.
Followed by Kentucky.
What if that dude actually had won? You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy thing. People, you know, actually write him in. And what if he actually won? And we stuck with Kanye, President Kanye?
4 years. I'm sorry, not followed by Kentucky, followed by Minnesota. He did an interview with Rogan. Maybe I guess it's probably been about 2 weeks ago now. He was lucid.
Okay.
He was typical Kanye, all over the place. He did manage to bring it back together a few times. But what I found most interesting about that interview was he was very aware of how he is, right? So he talked a little bit about, I forget what he called it, rants. He didn't use the word rant, but he talked a little bit about how he goes on his rants and he'll just go out there. And he even kind of joked on himself a little bit. You know, he would rant for 10 minutes on something and he would come back and be like, that's not even the question you asked me. You know, I guess maybe you want to talk at this point or something like that. Right. So he is aware of how he is. And some of the things that he talked about, what he would want to do in a presidency in terms of innovative energy ideas and innovative kind of community, low cost sneakers and clothing. So people like very, very lofty ideas and goals, very great ideas and goals.
Okay.
I just don't see him as the one to bring that to life.
Listen, great ideas are great ideas. It can be, anyone can have a great idea. Anyone can have a great idea. How to implement it is a whole nother thing. And he is nowhere near stable enough to lead a country.
No.
I have to say that.
There are some of the ideas that he had that he is implementing. Well, look, he has created teams of people to implement. There are two things I think about that. One, he's creating and implementing from the standpoint of, I have a lot of money and I can spend it and I'm going to make a lot more money, but you can't run the government that way. Government doesn't run that way. Government doesn't run like rich people. And two, he's actually being sued now for like a stage show or something he put on, and the people are suing him for like $1 million, say he didn't pay him. So I'm like, ooh, you want to implement these ideas and put these things into place, but you're now on record for not paying people that worked for you. Ugh.
Again, That's very Trumpy.
It is very Trumpy. That makes me sad for him.
Yeah, that's very, very, very Trumpy. So I mean, look, we dodged the bullet with Kanye and Trumpet because
Trumpet is the bad president.
We got to get your kid to say something different now. We can say was. Trumpet was a bad president.
Nah, still always will be. Is because if he tries to run again in 2024, we have to remember he was a bad president.
Fair enough.
The Maxine Waters conversation you and I were talking about. I was surprised, and I can't remember what the percentage was, but there were, what was it, 15, 16% of black men that
it was higher.
It was higher than that?
It was 20 to 25% of black men supported Trump.
Were they really black men though? Like, really?
You trying to find a way out of that?
I'm curious. You know, everybody want to be black until you got to be black. So, I mean, I identify as white man on job applications nowadays. So, you know,
if people can identify as what they want, I identify as rich white guy.
Yeah, I am an Asian Jew if it comes down to it. I identify with all that. That's me. Yeah. Are you saying I don't look Jewish or Asian? What does that really look like? What are you trying to say about me? But yeah, so Max, so 25% of black men.
The numbers I've heard are 20 to 25%.
I would challenge that number. You know, I would want to challenge that and to actually dive in to see if that's true or not. But if it is, or anywhere remotely close, that's heartbreaking and puzzling because he don't like you. You know, he ain't thinking about you. He ain't thinking about us at all. Unless you got money.
So I'm not going to go too far into this because I want to bring on some people who can speak more intelligently about the Democratic Party than I can. Right? Because where does that come from? Right? Because that just kind of came out of left field. So if you haven't seen the story, Maxine Waters came out on the Joe Madison show and said this: "It just hurts me so bad to see blacks talking about supporting Trump. I don't know why they would be doing it. I don't know what's on their minds, but if we don't turn out this vote and turn it out huge, this man could end up winning again, and this country would go backward. The divisiveness that this deplorable human being has caused, the confrontation, the dog whistling to the right wing, the white supremacists, the KKK, and they're coming alive. They're emboldened because they've got a leader who wants them to do it." She went on to say, "Black men who don't understand if they're not listening to you, if they're not listening to our voices, they have a price to pay. The years to come, if they help put Trump over and help him get elected, they will go down in history as having done the most despicable thing to their families and to their communities and to their mothers and their grandmothers. They will shamefully be accused of having attributed to the lack of equality life for the people they can claim to love so much." She continues further.
Oh boy.
"He's a racist. He does not have any appreciation for black people and black women in particular. He's talked about it so bad. He talked about John Lewis so bad. He talked about Cummings so bad. He has no respect for us. He's not doing anything for us. So I read that and then I felt some kind of way, but I needed to sit with it. And in sitting with it, I found a gentleman on YouTube, Dennis Sperling Unfiltered. I'll link to the video in the description or in the card. And he addresses Maxine Waters. He is an attorney. He is a black man. He lives in her district. And he has some very strong opinions about why black men in particular would look to support Trump. I am not going to try to espouse what he said. I invite you to watch the video. It's short. It's about 15 minutes. So I want to have some folks on to talk about Maxine Waters' statement and to discuss that video. For me, I don't like the idea of a person in power shaming a group for not voting her party. Because that's the lines are muddled here, right? Is her position to support her party, or is it to help black people? And depending on the answer to that question, we could go in different directions, right?
Right.
But I don't like it. It makes me feel bad, and I don't like it. Not that I'm a Trump supporter or voted for Trump. I just don't like that strong arming tactic.
I have to look back at her statement and dissect it a little more, but just off of face value, you know how I feel about Trumpet. And I don't necessarily I don't call myself a Democrat, or I'm more independent now, right? So I don't have any alliance to any political, group per se, but I understand my own best interest, and Trumpet definitely is not in my or my family's best interest, and there's a lot of black men that fall in line that same way, but to vote it's voting against your own self-interest. You get what I'm saying? And I believe that's where she's coming from with it. Whether she's saying you should vote Democrat or not, voting for that dude or supporting that dude is against your own best interest. There's nothing that he would, he's not done or would have done. He's clearly racist. I mean, and that's just not me saying of what I've heard. You can see the behavior. You see what it is. This is plain as day. He is not he cares more about enriching himself and his family than he does anything else. And the only thing that he's done while in office in terms of black people is concerned, I have to look up and see what he did for the HBCUs, honestly. But everything else is just a photo op. He's only, as far as publicly, he's only met with entertainers for a photo op. That's it. So, in any case, that's how I look at it. I mean, and I'm sure there's more to a statement that we can get into, but I don't necessarily disagree with her. I don't necessarily disagree with her. It's
I
like
don't, I don't necessarily disagree with her either. I just don't like the shame on you part.
I mean,
right? That's the part I don't like.
If we were in the days of Hitler and he was running for re-election, and there were 20% of Jews that voted to keep Hitler in power, of course somebody would go, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? It's against your own best interest. Now, that's a very extreme.
And I think it's a little bit of a false equivalency.
But just to draw a point, I mean, just to make a point, it's against your best interest. That's all I'm saying. So
here's what I think happened. So it's interesting how you started out and how you described yourself. You're neither Democratic or Republican. You're more of an independent. And the gentleman that I just mentioned who did the video, that's how he described himself. And I would, with little education on this point, I would venture to say of the 20% of black men who were supporting Trump, they probably fell into that bucket. Okay. So now the question becomes, what differentiates you from them? I think it's what we define as in your best self or in your self-interest. I think they just think what's in their self-interest is to align with Trump versus aligning with Biden. And the gentleman made some very interesting points about Biden and his 47-year career and Kamala's career, which I had to look at that and go, okay, right? I'll say this part. So he talked about the crime bill and how the crime bill and the subsequent sentencing disparages between crack cocaine and cocaine, and how those two things uniquely affected the black community, put more black men in jail and took black men out of the home, which led to the destruction of the black community. So you can, no matter how we feel about Trump or how we feel about Biden, factually, Biden is complicit in that. So as a black man looking who may still have an uncle serving time or a brother in there, they ain't got no love for Biden. They ain't got no love for him.
Okay, but then they ain't got no love for the Black Caucus either, or the churches that all were calling for, that all voted for that bill as well.
And he called them out and Maxine Waters out on that point. He was like, you talking, but you was in the Black Caucus back then too. So you are also culpable.
And there, I mean, I think that was I don't remember it like that. I do remember the crack era. I remember the crack era. And, you know, I had friends that sold, you know what I mean, tried to recruit me I remember it. You know what I'm saying? And I think all the violence that was happening that was attributed to the whole crack era. You know what I mean? It's a horrible time. And the outcry was do something. And that's what came of it. Now there's a lot that, you know, hindsight is 2020. And I believe people that were involved and that crafted the bill, and, you know, it can be, I've heard Biden speak on some of the things that he put in the bill and didn't agree with. And, you know, around that time, I can't elaborate as well as he would, but he called it a mistake. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, nah, I wouldn't have, looking at it now, no, I wouldn't have done that. I think that was a mistake. We shouldn't have done that. This is what we could do, and this is what I plan to do. And that's all I'm saying. Like, looking back at that crime bill and keep going back to that, oh, well, because that thing back then can now be rectified now. Trump wouldn't do it. He wouldn't try to do it. He called for the death penalty of what turned out to be innocent young boys. And he's not taking that statement back. He's not atoned for that to say, nah, maybe I shouldn't have rushed to judge. Not at all. Nah, he still believes they should, those boys were animals and they've gotten away with something. So, I mean, like I said,
I think it's less of a question. So when we talk about the 20% of, and we're just assuming they're independent who voted for Trump or sided with Trump. When we talk about that 20%, I don't think it's necessarily a case of I love Trump, I hate Biden. I think it's a case of I don't like Biden. Just like it's the 80% of black males who are voting for against Trump. I would venture to say it's not a case of I love Biden, I hate Trump. It's I hate Trump, right? So, it's voting against the motherfucker, which I am not in agreement with in either direction.
But that plays. I mean, that's a part of it.
It is. I know.
That's
it is.
Part of it. I think if people were more informed back in 2016 and not so hateful of Hillary Clinton, we wouldn't be in the mess we are in right now. There were people that I say threw your vote away because it didn't really voting for an independent that had no chance of winning is really just kind of helping the other guy. So, in any case.
I think with 2016, I think it was a couple of things that got Trump in and had Hillary lose. One just said, and the other, Trump became the voice of marginalized people. Now, usually the term marginalized people is used to refer to people of color. But there is a large, what are we, 13% of the population, right? Mm-hmm. It's a whole lot of poor people in this country. Asian represents a smaller percentage than us, Hispanic a larger percentage, but the vast majority of people in this country are white people, and it's a lot of poor people. So just by the mathematics, the majority of those people are white people. I think those people felt ignored by our political system for so long that Trump became their voice, right or wrong, whether he's going to help them or not help them. I think they just got behind him because no one else before him paid attention to them. And he rallied a base on that.
And by doing that, they supported a snake oil salesman.
Hopefully they figured that out.
I think they did.
But looking at the polling numbers across the country, they didn't, because in a lot of places it was neck and neck.
Yeah, which is also troubling. Which is also troubling. I'll paraphrase it, but a quote that D.L. Hughley said that Barack Obama is who we aspire to be. Donald Trump is who we really are.
I let's end it on that, because I don't think it could have been put any better. I don't think it could be put any better.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so I'll try to get some folks on. We'll go through Maxine Waters thing. We'll go through the video that this gentleman posted that, again, I encourage you to watch, especially if you're a black man, independent, or a black male
liberal
Trump supporter.
Yeah,
I encourage you to watch that. Because it's some great information in it. George Floyd. The judge in the George Floyd case, he denied the petition to separate the trials.
As he should.
They started turning on each other.
Y'all in this fault. I was obeying orders. I was just doing what he told me to do. It's not my fault. He told me to do it. Yeah, but you did it. You here too.
The judge said,
yeah, and I ain't really with him.
you are now.
I don't even know him. I don't even know this motherfucker. Y'all get to know each other then. It's going to be a while.
The judge said that having a trial combined, having them all together would, quote, ensure that the jury understands all of the evidence and the complete picture of Floyd's death. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
That I'm glad that happened. Speaking of videos and George Floyd and police, there was another video that I watched today. And I'm gonna find it really fast here.
Yeah, I ain't know him.
Let's mute that. A conversation with the police, uncomfortable conversations with a black man. That's the name of his channel. Emmanuel Acho, A-C-H-O. He gets what looks like the whole damn police department from a small area in California. They're in, and it's him as a black man and all of these white police officers. And they have an uncomfortable conversation. It was it was a little uncomfortable for me. Yeah. But
okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, I'll shoot that one to you too. It's and I'll link it below. But it was to me an example of how a conversation about policing should start, where we start from the baseline, where I get you to agree that there is a problem and I'm not just making it up. And I will agree that you are a human being and that just because you're wearing that uniform doesn't mean that you're the devil. Let's start there. And then add the nuance on top and the complications and really try to boil it down. I can tell that the conversation was very long and he edited it down to like 20 minutes or so, because there were some points I would have loved to see them go deeper on, but it was a good video.
Okay. Yeah, I must check that out. At any point did he say, fuck these pigs at all?
No.
That uncomfortable.
He didn't get to the point that he say fuck these pigs and nobody reached for their taser. So
okay. Yeah, okay.
It stayed civil.
Okay. All right. Good for him. Probably made some friends out of there. Or not.
I could tell that they were more uncomfortable than he was, which is very interesting to watch. It's like 30 people in a room with guns and tasers, and I think it was him and his 2 crew members. So it's like 3 black people unarmed, and they seemed more uncomfortable than him.
Well, if anything they said was on tape. You know, cops don't like tape. Okay, let me rephrase that. Some people, especially police officers, in my experience, they don't like to be on tape. So, because
my experience has been that people who got some shit to hide or mean to do something fucked up, they don't want to be on camera. So yeah. I was going to talk about that Roland Martin thing, but I decided I don't really want to. Talk about switching gears in the middle of a show.
Yeah. I can understand it. I think at this point, as far as the Ice Cube thing is concerned, that's going to wash over. Lil Wayne, on the other hand, will not.
Yeah. His girlfriend left him.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Over that shit.
Allegedly. But yeah, I can see, I would say it's a good thing he don't make music no more. Lil Wayne go, what? I stopped making music? You are now. I'm done making music? You are now.
I think we talked about him in the last show.
Yeah, wait.
And I linked over to the video of him, that interview he did with, I think it was ABC, where he was like, Black Lives Matter. I don't care about that. I just care about money and my bitches. And I was like, look at you.
Ignorance personified.
It was embarrassing.
It was like, it makes me wonder if he's playing a character. Is he, is that Lil Wayne a character, or is that what you really believe now?
I watched that whole video, and here's my impression of what happened. He was being open and honest about his life and his career. The interviewer asked him about Black Lives Matter. He was not well versed on it and got embarrassed. And it was easier for him to be an asshole and get up, because he eventually got up and just walked out of the interview, took it and left angry. It was easier for him to do that than it was to say, hey, look, I've been insulated from this just because of who I am and what I do. So I'm just not well versed on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what that whole thing was about. I think his embarrassment swelled and his ego showed up instead of his intellectual side, because he's not a dumb guy. And I think that ego just took over that interview, and he finally had to shut it down. But it was interesting to watch for sure.
Oh, yeah.
6 minutes and 50 seconds of pure entertainment.
Will people forget about it? Do you think people will forget about what he just did as far as endorsing Trump? You think people will forget about it?
Yep.
I don't think this.
Let him come out with a hot record. People will forget it. People forgot that R. Kelly peed on children. They'll forget about a picture with Trump.
He had really good lawyers that was burying those cases back then. Now though, with the way with social media, and then social media didn't exist back then either.
That is true.
So that plays a part in it also. So all that said, Kanye tried to, thought people would forget also. He put a couple of albums out that did not really, people ain't check for. You know what I mean? I think it's a wash for him too.
Do you think that people didn't check for those albums because of his association with Trump, or because he just completely did a 180 and went from, the type of music he was making to gospel rap?
I think it has something. I think all the above, because he has some secular music out as well.
Okay.
I just think people were not really checking. There's some people now. There's some kids that still like, which confuses me, because he would be before they would even know who Kanye. You know what I'm saying? His earlier work was what made him popular. The stuff that he's done in recent years didn't really register on the same, same ways. But kids like him probably because of the sneakers. You know what I mean? A little more than the music. But yeah, no, I think it has to do with some of everything. The weird behavior, the political stuff, the gospel stuff. It was like, what is this? You know what I mean? And people just kind of checked out.
It's too much.
I don't want to hear nothing he got to say until he goes, look, I was tripping. I'm sorry. Hey, look, I was tripping.
You don't want to hear nothing he got to say, because he ain't going to say that shit.
Hey, if he talked to Joe Rogan and said that and you said he sounded lucid and was very aware of what he's going through, I can't see why he wouldn't be able to piece that sentence together to go, listen, I'm dealing with a condition.
But he doesn't think he's crazy.
I'm not saying I don't think that he's necessarily crazy, but the stuff that he says that he allows to come out of his mouth and then don't check is irresponsible and sounds crazy.
he thinks that he is a innovative thinker. Just a creative, innovative, off the wall, out of the box thinker. And when he talks, that's just how it happens, right? Like his brain moves faster than his mouth. So it's just coming out as non sequiturs. It's all over the place. And it makes perfect sense to him in his head, but it doesn't make perfect sense in the world. He doesn't think there's anything wrong with it, but he understands why people don't understand it. So he's never going to say there's a problem because he doesn't believe there's a problem. It's a goddamn problem. God bless him, though.
Yeah, well.
God bless him. A couple more things, and then we can get the hell out of here.
Until Kim Kardashian leaves him, then then he'll realize what it is. Because she's waiting. I think she's gearing up.
Yeah.
She got an eye on the next ball player.
she don't need him for his money.
Yeah, no. Nope.
All right. Brother Johnny Depp. He lost his case. So he filed a case against the Sun. It's a paper in the UK.
The tabloid paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it? Okay.
I think they're tabloid. I'm not sure. But he was suing them for libel because they called him a wife beater. And he lost that case. The judge said Mr. Depp did assault Miss Heard in reference to the multiple allegations of domestic violence that were presented during the trial, declaring that the, quote, great majority had been proved. The verdict also notes that it does not accept the characterization of Heard as a, quote, gold digger. This is the part I thought was really interesting. All right, it says the claimant has not succeeded in his action for libel, although he has proved the necessary elements of his cause of action in libel. The defendants have shown that they published in the meaning, which I have held the words to bear, was substantially true. So that they're saying there was enough for you to bring the case, but you lose. Once he lost that case, Fantastic Beasts, that movie, those 3 movies, or the 2 that have been released, the 3rd one that was supposed to come out this month. Yeah, they let him go.
Oh, damn.
They let him go.
Sucks. So in that case, do you bring in hindsight, do you go, y'all say what you want? Or, you know what I mean? Like, he was justified in bringing the case, but he lost, and as a result of losing that case, this movie goes, oh yeah, they say you're a wife beater. We can't be you know what I mean? Is it better? Would it have been better for him to go, y'all say what you want. I know what the truth is. I'm not even gonna pay it much mind. Stop talking about it.
It would have been better for his wallet.
Yeah. But
probably not better for his character.
At this point, it's still not better for his character either.
In better for his wallet, not better for his self-impression, right? Because I can imagine it is difficult to go to bed every night knowing that the world thinks you are a wife beater and you are not, right?
But they still believe that now.
Yeah, but he tried, right?
And it sounds like you say you're not a wife beater, but you did beat your wife. So
that's what they're saying. But to me, it sounds like shit. She beat him. He beat her. It sounds like mutual combat. Sound like they were in there just beating up on each other.
Yeah.
And based on those tapes, she was the aggressor, at least some of the time.
Wow.
And she has a history of it.
Oh wow. Yeah, for
Yes,
that.
her ex-girlfriend took her to court and all of that for physically abusing her. So,
Yeah, and
yeah. But
you point to that instead of suing them. I guess I don't know.
well,
Hindsight.
so you right. I think in retrospect, it might have been a smarter play not to sue them for libel and just go after her. But they have another case coming up. He's suing her for $50 million in Virginia over a Washington Post column. She wrote about domestic violence, something or the other. What I find most interesting about this story, Fantastic Beasts is a Warner Brothers film. They likely let him go from that film because of the upheld allegation that he's a wife beater. Makes sense. They don't want, it's relatively a children's film. It's associated with J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter, the Harry Potter world. You don't want a wife beater associated. I get it. Amber Heard is going to be in the next Aquaman film. She was in the first one.
Okay.
That also is a Warner Brothers production. It also is generally marketed towards children.
Right.
She's a proven husband beater. Why aren't they letting her go?
She's not kicking up dust about it.
Of course she is. The whole thing started when she went out and said, he beat me, he beat me, he beat me. She started the ball rolling and he had to go, wait a minute. I didn't beat you, bitch. You beat me.
Oh.
When he lost Pirates of the Caribbean, he started losing jobs. He was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Y'all don't know everything that's happening here. And then that tape got released. Warner Brothers never let her go when that tape got released.
Well, I mean, the double standard. Your woman can hit you, she can smack it, but you best not return fire. So,
This is not my opinion. I have seen this in the manosphere.
Oh boy. Okay.
They say if women want equal rights, they deserve equal lefts.
Oh. Yeah, nah.
Look, I joke, but I'm not a proponent of hitting women, right?
Yeah,
no.
You shouldn't
and
hit
I'm
each
also not a proponent of just violence in general, right? But I also think it is not an okay double standard to give one group of people carte blanche ability to be violent against another group of people. It's not okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. Unless, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh boy.
The worst, right. One of the worst, but yet funniest jokes I've heard. What do you tell a dude? What do you tell him? Okay, people, this is not my joke. I'm telling the joke. It's a terrible joke. I'm gonna say that ahead of time. It's a horrible joke, but just to illustrate the point. What do you tell a woman with two black eyes?
I don't know, and I'm afraid to guess.
Nothing. You've already said it twice.
Jesus Christ, that's awful.
Horrible joke, but I told you that ahead of time. You can change
Who's
that joke.
Responsible for that joke? Where did that come from?
That's an old joke. That's a very old joke, but it's terrible. It's horrible. Say about a dude, it's funny. It's a little funnier, but still, it's violent, terrible, foul.
I think I remember hearing a comedian tell a similar joke. I can't remember who it is of the joke, and I'm not going to rack my brain to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's run through some birthdays and get the fuck out of here. We've probably been canceled at this point. So,
what the hell? Oh my God.
Over the weekend, Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys turned 54.
Yeah,
Mr. Rob Van Winkle, better known as Vanilla Ice, turned 53.
baby. Still got money off of one record. One.
He actually
He's
he
doing other.
started
Yeah.
he did $1 million flips. He had it's like a show on HGTV. He was flipping $1 million homes or whatever.
Right. And he made some money from that. But let's not forget, Ice Baby made him a lot of money.
I think it made Suge Knight more money than anybody.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I can't even he got a couple of dollars because it ain't doing him no good right now. Maybe when he get out, if he get out, he may have some ice money. But Van Winkle got that.
Right now, he's watching them ice picks. Mr. Michael Collins turned 90.
Oh, man.
Who is Michael Collins, you ask? He's the pilot of Apollo 11, the historic mission where Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. He was the other guy. He flew him there.
Got it.
He never gets his just due. Dan Rather turned 89. Peter Jackson turned 60. Peter Jackson, the director of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies, which he hasn't done any movies lately, has he?
At some point you make enough money, you go, I ain't got to do this shit no more.
Those movies were amazing. He did a great job on those films.
That's like Spielberg directing. I'm cool.
He was like, I'm good.
Good.
Comedian Rob Schneider turned 57. You know him from the Deuce Bigelow movies.
Animal.
Letitia Wright turned 27. You know her from Black Panther. She played Shuri. Mm-hmm. Willow Smith turned 20. You know her from Her Mother's Sadness.
Her Mother's Vagina. From Her Mother's Vagina. That's where we know her from.
Apparently, there are a few other people who know Her Mother's Vagina.
I try not to. Okay. Oh, boy.
Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. He turned 54. He has a pretty interesting YouTube channel. You should check him out.
Okay.
He's very outspoken. We'll put it that way. Rapper Nelly turned 46.
He's doing really well on Dancing with the Stars right now too.
Who that, Willie D or Nelly?
Nelly's on Dancing with the Stars right now. He's still on. Like he was on there as with the what's the tiger lady? I forget her name.
Carol Baskin.
Yeah, he was on. They were competing against each other. She got dropped because she was terrible. Nelly, on the other hand, is actually a pretty decent dancer, and he was never known to be a dancer. He was an athlete before he started rapping, so he's actually doing pretty good. He goes up there. He has these custom made shoes. They're Jordans made into dance shoes. It's actually pretty dope. It doesn't look hokey at all. It looked like some shit that you could really wear out somewhere. You know what I mean? But there's somebody custom some, because I think he wore Jordans the first night, and they got on him about it. Like, you can't wear sneakers to a ballroom, so they made him some ballroom Jordans, and he's been rocking.
I'm not mad at that. Actually,
yeah,
that was his way of saying "fuck you" in your culture.
There we go. But he's actually doing pretty well. All
right. Cool Rock turned 54. Cool Rock from the Fat Boys.
Cool Rock Ski. Yeah.
P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Puffy, Sean Diddy Combs. Did I get all of them?
Brother Love. That's another one he goes by now.
I forgot about Brother Love.
The Love. I don't know why, but they Puff.
He turned 51. Sean Rivera from the group As Yet turned 49. Laura Bush, former First Lady, turned 74. Marky Post. You remember Marky Post?
No, Marky Post? No.
Yes. She was the little blonde in Night Court. You remember Night Court?
Of course. I love Night Court. Bull was one of my favorite characters. Oh, she was the other attorney, the blonde attorney. Yes, yeah, I know exactly. Okay.
That Marky Post was a cutie.
Okay. This is my mom calling me. Hang on, I'm gonna bring her up. Hi, Mom. I'm recording. I have you live on the show right now. Say hi to Mike. Oh, hold on. Wait, try this again. There you go, Mom. Say hi.
Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm relieved. I'm so doggone relieved. Thank you, Jesus. We have a new president-elect. Oh my God.
I said earlier in the show that Trumpet is not going. He's been publicly saying he's not going to accept the results, and they're going to have to evict him. And I'm here for that. I want to see that. See him evict his ass. Throw his gold toilet. Throw his gold toilet out on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just relieved. I'm relieved that this part of it. Anyway, that everybody's celebrating across the country. Can you imagine? I would love to be in Washington, D.C., right outside the White House where they're like celebrating like crazy.
Yeah. So somebody had a sign said "You're fired." That was classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're celebrating all around. But anyway, I'm not gonna. I figured that you were looking. Okay. I hadn't talked to you since I had gotten the news of it.
Yeah.
The nightmare's over. Thank you, God.
Well, for now, we got to make it to January 20th. So you can still do a lot of nonsense between now and then. But
we'll make it. He's not. Trump is not going to concede, but it's all right. That he don't have to.
Right.
As long as we start packing.
He's not. He's not. He's going to do something stupid. But I'll call you back as soon as we get done recording.
All right. All right.
My mother.
She said the nightmare is over.
Feel about it. It's crazy.
Kathy Griffin turned 60. Ralph Macchio turned 59.
The Karate Kid. He's not the Karate Kid.
Have you watched Cobra Kai?
I haven't watched it yet. I've seen I've seen the commercials that they've done. I've seen some promos, and it looks interesting enough. I do want to check it out. But I haven't watched it yet. I think it's on Netflix now, so I'll check, because it was on like YouTube, YouTube or whatever it was, the YouTube Prime
Premium. Yeah.
And now it's on Netflix, so now I'll actually check it out. I wasn't ready to pay for YouTube.
I watched it over on Netflix. It was so much better than I expected it to be.
Oh, okay.
It's still got a little cheese in it, right? Because you got a couple 60-year-olds, so, but it was actually quite good. I enjoyed it.
Okay. I have to go check that.
Momager extraordinaire Kris Jenner turned 65. Robert Patrick turned 62. Robert Patrick, T2.
Terminator. Yeah. He was
The liquid Terminator guy. Yeah.
He always looks creepy after that movie now. You see him in
Say
other
again?
movies. He always looks creepy to me in other movies now.
Yeah.
Just because he will always be the evil Terminator to me.
He killed that role. I mean, he took that franchise to the next level. Like it exploded after Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Hasn't
been a better Terminator movie.
No.
After 2. They've all kind of and I've watched all of them. I've watched all of them. I'm hoping they'll get it right this time.
No.
Right.
So one of the things that makes old girl giggle is my Schwarzenegger impression. And it's my favorite line from the first movie. When he comes out of the little orb and he's transported there and he's naked at the bar. He goes to the little bar and he's just like, he sees the motorcycle, he sees the people, and he walks up on the guy and he goes, "Give me your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle." It's my best line. So I'll just randomly throw it in when I'm fucking with her, and it just makes her giggle all the time.
I must say, and not that I'm an expert on impressions at all. In fact, I do horrible impressions. But that Schwarzenegger sounds Jamaican. Little Yardy. Yardy Terminator.
I want your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
That Schwarzenegger sound like he was smoking a blunt. Like he has a like
well,
right.
He was in California.
Very true. Very true.
Governor of California. Yeah, let's pass these marijuana laws.
We could do that.
Sally Field turned 74. We know her from Forrest Gump and The Flying Nun and Gidget. I'm trying to remember the other stuff.
All those heartbreaking PSAs about adopting unfortunate children.
Her and Sally Struthers. They make you cry at 3 a.m.
Right.
Tandy Newton.
I was gonna say Sally Struthers looked like she ate some of the children, but
oh.
Oh, did I? Okay,
Where's that? Where's that?
Wow, sorry. My bad.
Delicious Tandy Newton turned 48.
Tandy.
She is just
very appealing looking woman. Yes, indeed.
She was in Solo, A Star Wars Story, Mission Impossible 2, and probably most notably her role in Westworld. She kills that role.
Yeah, I fell off of Westworld. I started watching it, and just because of time, I never caught back up. But I have to go back and watch season 2 on through.
I started watching it. I watched the first 3 episodes of season 1 when it first came out, and I was like, eh. So I just didn't get onto that train. Beginning of COVID, I needed something to watch. So me and old girl watched Westworld in like a week. We just kind of episode after episode and went straight through it. It's very good.
I agree.
HBO, you can send that check to actually, generally the Warner Brothers company. Just anyway, Rebecca Romaine turned 48. She's married to Jerry O'Connell. She played Mystique in the early X-Men movies. She's quite a cutie. Lamar Odom turned 41. Khloe Kardashian's ex, former NBA star. Isn't he doing like a lot better now?
He is. He is. I was gonna say he, escaped the Kardashian family, but yeah, he's doing a lot better now.
It only took drugs and like a coma. Wasn't he in a coma?
Yeah, and then she had to one of his ex. She was in charge of whether he lived or not. She was, the next of kin, and he snapped out of it like, "I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. I'm here. I want to live. I want to live." No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. I'm here now. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm good. I'm good.
And he was on like crack. Was it?
Some hard drugs. He was partying hard.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, man. That makes me sad.
I mean,
it's funny the things that make me sad. Like I could sit on here and say all kinds of outlandish shit, and then I'll hear something like that, and I just get sad. It's just like,
yeah, I
guess I'm still a human.
Good for you, absolutely.
Emma Stone turned 32, and Taryn Manning turned 42. You may know Taryn Manning from her mom's vagina. Hustle and Flow. She was the white girl in Hustle and Flow. She was in Orange is the New Black.
It's funny, like to recognize who some people are. You could say she was the white, like she was the white girl in TVs. That's funny.
But and we'll just share this so people can see her face. They still like, I don't know who she is.
She was the pregnant hooker.
Her. Yes.
Yeah, she was the pregnant hoe. If you see the movie I'm talking about. If you've seen Hustle and Flow, you know what I'm saying. That she was the pregnant prostitute or whatever. So
now she has been cast to star in a film called Karen.
No, really?
I'm not making this up.
Is it a horror film?
Let me read. It's a thriller. Let me read the description. Karen is written and directed by Coke Daniels. I don't care who will be producing it. Blah, 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 blah. Yada, 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 yada. Where is the description? The Orange is the New Black alum is set to play Karen White, who believes that races should stick to their own kind. She carries this belief into her neighborhood. So when her new black neighbors, Asada and Malik, move in, she makes it her personal mission to remove them from the neighborhood by any means necessary. Okay. However, Asada and Malik don't have time for this. As card-holding Black Lives Matter members, they aren't going down without a fight.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
I'm just going to go on record and call that the dumbest goddamn movie ever made. But
it's based off of what we're experiencing now. I get it. I would be more interested.
It's too on the nose.
Yeah, I'd be more interested in, you know what? I'll do it. I'm going to write it. I'm going to write Black Karen. Or I'm going to do it. It's going to be Black Karen. And I'm going to base it on my baby mama. And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, you're past the time where you can talk.
Oh, yeah. I say that shit to her face. We joke about that. We joke about that on the phone now because her name is actually Karen. Go Black Karen. Yeah, yeah. Do that one. And that would be a horror film. Let you talk amongst yourselves. You can imagine what that might be about. In any case.
Oh.
All right, people, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging with us. Again, if you're watching, you're already subscribed, but tell a friend. Subscribe and let's you know, get on to the next level. If you haven't gotten your Unpoppin Gator, I don't have one in front of me right now, but they're free. We got them for you. If you subscribed and haven't received one, just send us a message. Let us know where you want to send them, and then we'll send it to you. No problem. At free of charge. So while supplies last. While supplies last. And we'll leave it at that. All right.
Cool. And don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. We are growing slowly on the YouTube channel, actually growing way faster on Facebook and Instagram. But we're growing the YouTube channel slowly. So when you subscribe, like, hit the notification and leave a comment, you go into a drawing to get $100 once we reach 100 subscribers. And we're nearly halfway there. So the more comments you leave, the greater your chances of winning. And they don't have to be favorable ones. Thank you, Soulstar, for saying that we are inexperienced interviewers. I think she said it was something like that.
Or no, talk show host, inexperienced talk show host or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And in other news, water is wet. What you talking about, man?
Well, technically, we're not inexperienced.
Just
rusty as hell.
Talk show host. No, we've both done radio, but it wasn't necessarily the talk show format.
Yeah, that is true.
So I'll take it. That's fine. Nah. But I like to talk, and so does this brother here. And if you're here listening to us, you like listening, and you think we got something to say, and perhaps we'll get better at it as well. So, thank you. That's all I got to say about that. Black Karen coming to a iPhone near you.
Child support office near you.
Court. Yeah. Hey, be safe out there. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching the Unpopular Opinion Show right here on YouTube. Appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed what you watched, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button.
Yeah, hit it. You haven't hit it yet.
You ain't hit it yet. What do you? Come on,
just hit it. Okay, the like button too. I mean, you got to.
Yes, got it. All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate you.